What goal are you currently working on, Amy?
Reducing my anxiety.
You want to reduce your anxiety. Okay. Now, when you say the first thing first is understand what we are talking about, is really agree on the formulation of the problem. Therefore, we don't take anything for granted. When you tell me one word, I want to make sure that I understand it the way you are saying it. So what do you mean exactly by anxiety?
Um, the like the feelings I have that prevent me from doing the things that I really want to be doing.
So you define your anxiety as feeling you have that prevents you from doing what you have to do. Now,
What I want to do.
what you
I
want to
can do
do.
what I have to do.
Uh-huh. But if you
Like,
want
I
to
have
do
to
it,
go to work.
hmm,
I have to, pay my bills. There are things we had talked about this before. I want to date.
hmm,
I want to be more social.
hmm,
I want to, try new things, and I don't
hmm,
because I'm too anxious.
hmm. So you are too anxious to be able to do things you want to do, and you want to do things, but your anxiety is preventing you from doing them.
Correct.
Now, here, the intent is to actually help you together, working together in collaboration for you to get there. Now, what exactly do you feel when you're feeling anxious? This is again to really understand what we are talking about.
Um, I feel tightness in my chest. I have difficulty breathing. When it's really bad, I get lightheaded. I sweat, and I get shaky. Yeah.
One thing you are also going to learn as we do this, Amy, is that the Socratic motivational practice. What I say, it's a combination of motivational interviewing principles and the Socratic method. You also see that we draw upon a series of other modalities in a very strategic way as we make things happen. So I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, we started to talk about some forms of CBT for anxiety. And now, while the Socratic motivational practice uses a little bit of that, but it goes beyond that. If you remember, I actually told you that whenever you have a feeling, it's connected to some time of thinking. And that time of thinking, Amy, we said that it's connected to what?
Uh, Behavior,
To
feelings,
so feeling.
focus, action.
If we're going back, if we're going forward, you're right. The feeling is connected to an action, right? You feel and then you act in a certain way that
Thought.
reflects your feeling. But if we're going backward, you feel because you actually have been thinking about something, and then you've been thinking about that specific thing because you've been focusing on something specifically. And then going backward, you've been focusing on that because you actually have been living in terms of based on an interpretation of a meaning, and that interpretation and meaning happens to be that way because of your mindset. I'm gonna ask you to write this again each time you come here. You if you start from your right going to left, you will have action, and then on your left, what will you have? Feeling, and then left of feeling is what?
Thinking.
Thinking, and then
Focus.
focus.
And I don't know the last one.
And then after focus, you're gonna have what we call meaning, meaning or interpretation. And then left to that is
Oh, there's another one.
yes, it's actually your mindset, your belief, your philosophy, right? So those are your core beliefs. Now, why I say that this is going to be our template, one of the templates we can use while we're doing Socratic motivational practice for anything that you come to me here for us to work on. Now, going back, when you told me that this is what happens, what you experience when you feel anxious. I would like to ask you then, going backward, what kind of thoughts do you have when actually you feel anxious?
That I'm not good enough, that I'm not going to be able to do it, that that I'm going to stutter, that I'm going to
Okay.
look stupid.
Okay. Now, those are the thoughts that you have. Okay. Then let's go back to your action, to behavior. When you feel that way and you think all of those things and you tell me that you don't do things that you want to do, what exactly do you end up doing?
You stay home.
You just stay at home. Okay. Instead of going dating and all that.
I cancel.
Okay. So what you would like to do is to actually eliminate your anxiety, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Okay. Now, in order for us to move forward, I would like you to do the following for me. When you feel anxious, what else do you feel? What other feelings or emotions do you have?
Sadness.
You feel sad.
Yeah.
What else?
I feel scared.
You feel scared. What else?
I feel nervous, I guess. I mean, they're all
Okay.
connected.